Welcome to Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. I'm Get, your host. Now, this is a new moon, November 26, 2019 reading. That's when the new moon was. You're looking right at it to the left. Now, we've done the first one. So if you haven't done the first one, because this person to the right requested that new moon reading, they also have some questions on a dream they had. So they'll also receive the link for that reading as well. So this is picking up from that reading, but it's talking about her chart. Totally different chart than the one you'll see on what I'll call part 1. So wherever you see this video, you'll also see that video for the new moon reading. Now, I just want to look at this dream first. Yeah, that little girl has been making her round. I'm not saying it's the same little girl, but this is what's going on above us. This is why I said, this is what I'm trying to tell everybody. There's going to be changes. Your life is not going to stay the way it's been. I keep trying to tell you guys that. And you're getting warnings. You're getting warnings all over, whether it be animals, whether it be space, the birds. You might see hooded people wearing hoods and, just strange reasons and stuff. So I talk about all this on both my channels, but like people just want to think everything's going to stay normal. But it's not. You're about to see drastic changes. So that's why I say, let me just ask you guys one thing. Now it's thousands of people out here doing this type of stuff. Astrology, tarot cards, angel cards, psychics. How come not many of them talk about like the family stuff? Like stuff going on with the family or stuff going on that you read in the news. Like missing people, people that have been assaulted, stuff. Why don't they talk about that? Because they would lose money if they talked about that. So they give you this bubblegum astrology BS. And most people, that's what they want. They don't want to deal with the real. But then when you get hit with the real, you don't know what to do with it. See, I'm going to tell you what's on the chart. Because that's what you need to hear so that you can prepare for it. That's the real reason for having help from the stars. Because if you understand how this universe was run before we got taken over and put in this matrix, like our ancestors, they went to astrology. They went to the stars. It was all one. They might get an animal message. I was listening to an Indian chief that said, if a bug bites you, don't be upset. He said, that's a message. Thank that bug. So that's what he believes as well. So you can't duck it. And what happens is people, especially when they get successful, because they're trying to move forward. But if you have a calling, if your ancestors are trying to get in contact with you, if you have some other things you should be doing besides whatever you're doing, you're going to keep getting calls from the universe, from other realms. So anybody who hears this video, I strongly advise you to listen up. And I'm going to tell you again, stay away from bubblegum astrology. It's going to pop in your face just like a bubble. When you stay with your readings, you'll have heads up. A guy just sent me an email. He said, Get, just like you said. He said, new moon, November 26, 29. I'm driving my truck, working. He said, I saw a guy with a hood on, with his head down on the side of the road. He said, it just looked strange to me. He said, within minutes, my truck broke down on the side of the road. So it's all one if you let it. And that's what all the ancients believed before we got taken over and thrown in this matrix, where everything is basically a lie. But people are waking up, and they're beginning to fight against the matrix. That's why you see the matrix breaking down all over, throughout the world, throughout Europe, but all over this planet, that matrix is breaking down. So whenever you get any type of reading, make sure you're getting a real reading. Even tell that person. That way you don't get ripped off. Because all they're going to do is tell you all this happy shit. That's why I go through the titles. I go through YouTube and I just put it in the search engine, and I just look at everybody's title. What is everybody talking about? And you see very few talking about real stuff. It's always about love or finances, or you're about to have a breakthrough or something. The same stuff they say if you go to church. Oh, you're about to have a breakthrough. The Lord told me. And all they're really doing is ripping you off. And the bottom line is always going to be that almighty dollar, because that's most people's God. So the little girl, anybody that's metaphysical, even mystical, she'll always pop up. Now, I'm not going to say she looks the same, but that little girl is always around. And even when you watch horror movies, if you notice, always like a little girl. Remember Poltergeist? The little girl stuck in the TV set? She's always around. Remember, the divine feminine comes in 3 personas. The little girl, like the teenager or the young adult female, and the crone, the old lady. And they all have messages for you. And you can link all this back to astrology, but make sure you're dealing with an expert that's not going to lie to you, going to tell you what's going on. Because otherwise you're wasting your money, you're wasting your time. Even if they gave you some good advice. But suppose you got some bad stuff coming with that good advice. So you need to know about the bad stuff too. Because you got to prepare for everything. That's like you want to be a boxer, but your trainer trains you how to bounce around, but your trainer doesn't train you how to take a blow. So you're in there bouncing. Hey, I'm doing exactly what my trainer told me. You're bouncing around, all, but after a while you start to get a little tired or whatever, and then you get clocked. Like that dude Ortiz did. I think his name was Ortiz or whatever. Ruiz got knocked out by Wilder. Same reason. Because Wilder just waited. He knows he got the knockout punch. And I could tell Ortiz was about to, whatever his name is, Ruiz, he was about to get knocked out because he had his left hand down. How you going to be boxing against one of the most powerfulest knockout boxers in the world today with your left hand down? Duh. Don't you think he's going for that side of your head that's not protected? And that's exactly what he did. He jabbed him with the left on his side. He jabbed him with his left on his side. However he did it. He jabbed him when the side of his hand was down. And with the knockout plunge, he hit. If you watch that blow, you could tell. Sent that dude to knockout land. So the same thing's going to happen to anybody that's doing this bubblegum astrology. And I'm telling you, it's not going to get better. Some things will get better. That's what you got to understand, the realm of spirit. You're about to go into the realm of prophetic. And all you got to do is read the newspaper. Go to Yahoo News if you're online. I mean, YouTube. Yeah, Yahoo News. Yahoo News. Go to Yahoo News. They're kind of telling you what's going on. But what these people are doing is, oh, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear. And these are the people that are unprepared. Oh, I don't want to hear that. So they're dumping around and doing bubblegum astrology and running away from real readings, actual true readings, because all they want to hear about is love or family or everybody's happy. That's part of it, but that's not all of it. You're going to have challenges and stuff too. Wherever you got light, you're going to have darkness. Wherever you got good, you're going to have evil. And when people understand that, when they date, like when you date somebody, you have to realize everything's not going to be a bowl of cherries. Because what people do now, they date somebody, and the moment they see something they don't like, they want to back up. But no matter where you go, you're going to have to go through that sometime. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. So let that be a role model. Psalms chapter 23, Psalms 23, and Matthew chapter 4. You can read a little bit of Matthew chapter 3 at the end. On the greatest day of a person's life, the day of baptism, when they dedicate themselves to God, their life to God, right away, that same Holy Spirit that came down as a dove in Matthew 3 took Jesus to be tempted of the devil in Matthew 4. So you say, why would the Holy Spirit, the presence of God, take Jesus to be tempted of the devil? Because you're going to have challenges. And you got to learn how to go through them. It's not bubblegum. Life will never be bubblegum astrology. And when people that do that, all they're going to do is pop it and pop it and pop it in their face. And remember, we all reap what we sow. Just like if you believe in natal charts or astrology, then you got to believe in karma. In other words, if you did some stuff in this life that you didn't repent from or atone for, that's a debit. That's a karmic debt that you're going to have to pay for in a new life, in the next life, if you don't get it straight in this life. And from the Christian perspective, if you don't repent, then you're going to have judgment. Essentially saying the same thing. So yeah, the little girl is trying to help you, warn you. Sometimes you might see a little girl with the dog. So remember, definitely take a look at part 1, which was my full new moon reading, because I already read that entire chart to the left. So you have the link. You can check that out. But I will be summarizing it in part 2 with your chart. And her chart is on the right. Okay, so she had the dream 2 nights. So the little girl's with you on your path. It's at a random path. I couldn't tell if there was any trees or grass. And if you notice, a lot of you, like the other dream you gave me, was similar with the path. So she could sense that the area was safe, and that's good, because nowadays we have a lot of people, especially women, in unsafe situations. But again, a majority reason of that is because people, like I said, they want bubblegum astrology. Like the woman that goes jogging with fully, like, not a lot of clothes on, and she's jogging through woods and areas where anybody could grab her at any time. See, that woman wants to believe in stuff that's just not true. You're on a planet where if somebody, I don't care where you're at, if anybody catches you slipping, there's a good chance, especially if you dress like that, because it causes people to think a certain way. So these are things you have to know before you go out there. Like I said, me, I wouldn't jog too many places by myself. I'm a grown man. I just know the world it is. So if you're going to be jogging, definitely have some type of big dog. And I've heard times when the dog ain't even do nothing. I've heard times when a woman was assaulted and the dog didn't do jack. So you have to realize the world you're in. Not to be afraid, but to be aware so that you can stay safe. But all this freedom, thinking it's okay, and you're out in fantasy land, you think you can do whatever you want. Oh, it's my body, my right, I'll do what I want. But the rapist doesn't think that. The rapist is going to make your body his body, then he's going to kill you. And I read this all the time on Yahoo News. It's not a day that goes by some woman hasn't been assaulted, killed, or chopped up in a bag somewhere. So that's a falsehood. There is no freedom there. You're not safe. You got to realize you're on a crazy planet. So just be safe. You're better off driving your car to a populated area and jogging around that area than riding through some woods or some trail and all that crazy stuff. Because who's going to hear you scream? Like they say, if a big tree falls in the woods, did it make a sound? Nobody's going to hear you scream. So you got to use common sense. Get all that crazy, oh, I'm free, nobody's going to touch me, oh, I know judo and all this. Get all that crazy stuff out, because, like I said, everybody's a tough guy until they get punched in the face. And that's what's going to happen to that boxer that's mistrained. The trainer didn't teach that boxer how to bob and weave, how to throw a blow, how to take a blow. So when he gets in that ring, reality is going to hit him and he's going down. And the same thing with anybody with bubblegum astrology, it's the same thing. When that time comes, and you will see that dark time, whatever it might be, you're not going to be prepared for it, because I don't want to hear that. I'm just going to go over here because they make me feel good. And they talk to me like I'm a child. Even though I'm like 30, 40, 50 years old. But I need somebody to talk to me like I'm a child, because I don't want to grow up. So just tell me love, and tell me finance is going to be good, and tell me everybody's going to get along. And that's all I need to hear. And I'll pay for that one. But the real reading, oh no, I don't want to hear that. So then you're telling the universe. And that's what I mean about it. You're telling the universe or God what you're going to take, and then you're going to pay for that too. So these are universal facts that I'm giving people. And if you went to a real church, a real pastor, which you don't see too many of those anymore, that tells the people not what they want to hear, but what the word says. It's the same thing. That same biblical message is still a universal message. So now she says, as a little girl and I continued to walk, she walked towards a half-complete mini star steps bridge. Ooh, I used to dream about that bridge too. Woo! Took you to the stars, but it's a bridge. Stars, bridge. Sounds like the little girl's agreeing with old Gary Gare. The bridge, I just told you, as above, so below. That connection. Guys like me give you the real connection from the stars. I don't water it down. I'd be a very rich man if I did it the other way. But when I saw what these people wanted, I was like, oh no. I didn't come here to this planet to get caught up with this foolishness. Every day I read the newspaper. Beautiful young women are dying. College girls, women, young girls being killed. Brutal. But that's because of this fake stuff. Bubblegum astrology. Oh, everything's okay. Just give me your money. Why don't you guys have a little courage? Why don't you ask your readers? Why don't you ask them, how come you never really give me any bad readings? You're always talking about love and it's coming around the way, hanging there, the divine masculine, it's calling the divine feminine, talking about planet Venus or something. How come you don't ever give me like a real reading, like a more intense? Like I said, because they figure you're gonna run away. They figure you got a good sucker. I'm not gonna let a sucker get away. I'm just gonna tell them what they want to hear. So she said, okay, so it was a half complete, but it was many star steps bridge. So she said to her, you can't go over there, or God will judge you. See, even in her dream, she's talking about judgment. Seems like it's right in tune with what I'm saying. She then turned around and said, I come here only when you here. And I woke up and said, how many times have I been here with her? All right. So the first thing you need to know is when you're being taken to a bridge. You got the path and the bridge. So let's do that. What does it mean when you dream of a path? We're going to take that first. And believe me, we will be very thorough with this. The dream of a path is traditionally connected with where you are supposed to go in life. See, that's your life path, just like I thought. There is normally a positive dream. This is normally a positive dream as it is connected to how you are perceived by the outside world, plus the dreamer's goals. More importantly, if they can be reached, it is also connected to your own passions, energy, and vitality. But remember, we're talking about a path, but then we're talking about that star bridge. Then all of a sudden it wasn't a path no more. I want to use the word she used. Because you're on a path with her. And that's like you said, you told me recently in an email, guardian angel. I'm not saying that little girl is, but I'm going to say this. She has the same energy. And the little girl is representing new, something new. See, it doesn't matter what her age is. Remember, I told you how this works. The little girl is the beginning. The teenage girl or the younger woman is like a middle stage. The crone is when it's over. Something's about to end. Then a little girl coming around a new moon. Again, that's a new path. But she's telling you where, because you got a calling with the stars that you haven't completed yet. And she's basically telling you to don't be afraid. She only goes there with you. She's there to help you get you on your life path, which she's doing good. Because she does volunteer work. A lot of people don't do volunteer work. So she's yearning for a path, but it's very easy to get sideswiped. That's why I watch people fall all the time. See, one thing you can say about me, I've been doing this for well over 40 years. Very consistent person. Now, I can get knocked down, but anybody that's tried me knows I'm getting back up. This is a walk that you have to really be on. It can't be a walk that, I'm walking this walk, and then all of a sudden you get tempted. And it's hard, because sometimes you got to fight that temptation. It's not easy. But you got to have a determination and walk, and that's why, like when I say on my other channel, walk in spirit. Because you can't do it by yourself. That's why she's got that little girl that's going to help her. Telling her, don't be scared. Even though you think it's unsafe, it's not. Don't be afraid. I'm walking with you on this path. Nothing to fear. That's the first and foremost. I could tell you endless stories that I personally know of myself and other people who decided not to be afraid. I can tell you my best friend Talia out there in California, who was in on TV in a Guinness's Book of World Records, the world's largest cancerous tumor back in 2000. And I remember one of her many operations, because every operation she ever had, they told her she wasn't going to live. Now, in this particular operation, they told her, you're going to die, and that baby's going to die. They told her to abort the baby. And she said, no, I'm not going to abort my baby. And they said, well, listen, if we operate on you, either you're going to die or that baby's going to die, or you're both going to die. But there's no way both of y'all are going to live through this operation. They told her that. Talia decided to put her trust in God and went with the operation anyway. She said when she woke up, she was in her room by herself on the bed, and that baby gave birth to itself. No nurse gave. They call that baby miracle, because no nurse gave birth to that baby. No doctor gave birth to that baby. She said she woke up from an operation in a room by herself, and in between her legs was that baby, and it was still attached to the cord. So the baby still lived. The baby's still alive now. That was like over 16 years ago. Baby's still alive, and Talia's still alive. And I've known Talia since 1994. That's 25 years ago. So when you learn how to think correctly and put your trust back in spirit, you will move forward. Just like one of my favorite episodes, one of my favorite movies was Star Wars. Because remember they had the Death Star and you thought it wasn't complete, but it was. It's 11:10 a.m. So the Death Star outwardly wasn't complete, but everything else, it was fully functional. Everything that made it a Death Star was fully functional, but just outwardly it wasn't complete. So inside, God already knows your purposes, your plans. If God's calling you or raising you, you're already complete. You don't have to keep worrying about all the stuff we worry about. See, I don't worry about none of that stuff no more. Maybe I did it one time in my life, but I don't care. People are going to do what they're going to do. You can't stop people. If you got crazy family around you, you can't stop your family from being crazy. But you can handle how you react, or even how many times you're around them. Because you don't have to be around people all the time if all they're doing is adding to drama in your life. Recently, I had an urgent need. My doctor of 28 years is falling ill. Now it's 11:11 a.m. And there was a lot of needs that had to be taken care of. And I was exhausted once again because I have family driving me into the ground. And I got to the point where I said, listen, I can't do no more. And I just gave it to God. Put my hands up and gave it to God. And God came through. He showed up and he showed out. Every need that was going on at that time, he met, not me. I know another man that said, I got more done on my back in the hospital praying to God than I ever got up working, trying to work and do it myself. He said I got hurt, and being on my back, I was able to get a house and get all kind of stuff that I was never able to get when I was really up working. So when you study this, you gotta let spirit in. You gotta let that little girl in. That's what she's telling you. Now, once you get your angels helping you, guardian angels helping you, your spirit helping you, you'll see doors open. But these are what I call miracle doors, metaphysical doors, things of that nature. And the reason why I teach the way I do is because you have to be tough. Because you are going to be tempted. You are going to be tested. There is going to be a side that's allowed to test you. That's the book of Job, chapter 1 and 2. That's Jesus Christ when he got baptized, Matthew 4. The Holy Spirit took him to be tempted of the devil. It's Psalms 23. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me. But when you become strong, you make your family strong. And you make the people around you strong. Because if you're strong, they can't be weak. Because you won't allow it. It's not your character. It's not your person. And you'd be surprised if you met a guy and you kind of let him know what was up from the door. Instead of trying to impress him, because that's one thing that's kind of true. I was watching court TV. A female was a masseuse, but she was a new girl. So a man was used to the other masseuse. And he was trying to break this girl in the way the other female was. But that new girl wasn't having it. Things he wanted done, she wasn't going to do and stuff like that. So either way, they ended up in court. And the judge was a female, a black female. So you had the masseuse that was a little naive. She was new. And you had the guy that you could tell what he was about. So the judge said to the girl, why didn't you just leave? When you saw him saying things like that or acting like that, why didn't you just leave? And the girl kept saying, well, I wanted to make sure I did my job and stuff like that. And then that judge said to her, that's why women get in trouble, because they're always trying to please. They're always looking for somebody's approval. She said that's the main reason why women get themselves in trouble, because they're always trying to look for somebody else's approval. So what I'm saying is sometimes you have to let somebody know from the door what you're about and what you ain't having. Because men like that, believe it or not. Because men want to be men, but they're still little boys. And I talk that real talk. This is nothing new to me. This is decades of studying people on this planet. And if you knew me personally, even though I don't really act like that, I'm totally different. But I know I was sent. Like once you know you're calling and accept it, you're good. It doesn't matter who's talking trash. Because like I said, in a boxing ring of life, you see who the real fake ones are and all. Somebody's a tough guy that they get punched in the face and now they're on the ground. So, why you hit me? Or they're knocked out. So I've been there. I've done all that. It's not my job to get caught up in them. My job is to tell you what the universe is saying, what's on your natal chart, and trying to encourage you to do it the way you're told to do it by the universe. That's all. And I do see some people doing it. Or you can keep running. But whatever you do, you're going to pay for. Everything you do is karmic. So she basically told that female, you should have let him know from the door what you was doing, what you wasn't going to do. And, she knew the girl wanted to get paid, but now you're still in court. And once you're in court, the judge might have ruled against you. Then you would have lost money because you probably would have had to pay the court fees. So she was trying to tell that girl, I know you want the money, but sometimes you have to be careful. Because you're alone in a room with this man, and it's going to be your word against his. And I saw another one. This was Judge Judy. This is another judge. Totally different show, Judge Judy. And it was a older female. Oh, no, she was a woman, but she had like a bad record. She had been in trouble, been in trouble, been in trouble. So then she was in like this house or whatever for homeless, whatever. So the man that was like the chairman or whatever, the president or whatever, whoever he was, but he kind of took her under his wing. So of course she was getting to sleep at his house and all that. But he was making advancements to her. So whatever happened, they both ended up in court. So she was basically saying, well, he's no different than any other man, and he was just trying to exploit men and stuff like that, going off. And then at first the judge was just looking at him, and then Judge Judy began to say things about him, saying that he was, whatever, like a sleazeball. You know how Judge Judy could be, but he wasn't having it. So he started talking back to Judge Judy, talking about who he was and his accomplishments and all the stuff he's done. So he probably was lying, but whatever he was, he just didn't understand life, because you can't do that, because that female can say whatever she wants, and everybody's going to wonder why out of everybody that you oversee, why did you pick her? So obviously you were trying to do something with her. But what he was trying to do was say he was trying to be honorable towards her. And because she had a criminal record, Judge Judy sided with the man. So it's good to understand a life and how life really operates, especially when you have a calling. Because otherwise what's going to happen is you're going to be going through tug of wars where you're going to keep on trying to get on with your earthly life, and the spirit world is going to keep coming because you have a spirit calling. And that's what this is all about. A little girl in a dream means a new world, while a young girl in a dream implies getting a new job. But in your case, it could be a little bit of all of that. It's a little bit of both of those. Now, this one is called ChinaAbout.net. ChinaAbout.net. But and they took this from a dictionary called ZHOUGONG dictionary, Dream Dictionary. It was written October 30th, 2013. Now remember, October 30th is allegedly the day that the portals open up. And that's why on Halloween you celebrate the ghoulies coming out from the portal that opened up on October 30th. So a little girl can mean your life is full of hope. But remember where she took you. Because your hope, your purpose, why you're here is connected to that star bridge that you saw. And also that's a Bible prophecy about God's people. That's Jacob's ladder. Because the angels are stars. And the angels were going up and down that ladder. Now he says if you dream of a strange little girl, you're about to start a new love. Now keep in mind all this is being found out on a new moon. Now I just got a hunch I want to check out. I want to look at the date of this again. October 2013. October 2013. October 13. Give me one moment. So October 13 was 8 days from the new moon. No, it's October 30th. So the full moon was October 19th. 12 days later, October 31st, it was about 2 or 3 days before the next new moon. So really that's in the phase of new beginnings as well too. So the new moon was on October 2nd. So this was literally 3 moons or 3 days before the new moon. So that still a new opportunity. So that's the consistency of the universe. That's what I'm trying to show y'all for anybody that's listening. That's the consistency of the universe. The more you wake up and realize that you're just a fraction of what's going on all around you, that's why I say it is what it is. Like I said, I honestly couldn't function because I just deal with drama. I just have a lot of people that are into drama all around me, and it never stops, and it drains the hell out of you. But I got a great spiritual family that always look out for me, and that's why I'm very confident, and I really don't care about the foolishness. Because, like I said, when you become an adult, you have to start to act like one. Now, I'm not saying you have to be boring or so strict, but you can't raise children if you're acting like a child. And when you don't really care, like, and what I just sit here and study this planet, but they're more interested in, oh, don't tell me that, I don't need to know that. But you should need to know that because the safety of your children should be your primary concern. So it's just like you're on a planet where people want to hide from the truth, even though it's right in front of them. And they're mad at somebody like me that says, no, we're not going to do that. I'm not going to allow that to happen because I know I'm saving lives. Like I got a person who I definitely helped save their life, but then they still fell off because they had a stalker boyfriend or something, and they still fell off, even though it was a fact. And I wasn't the only one that told them. A psychic told them too. So they're still in danger, and according to the chart, not just them, not just that person's in danger, but children and everything, the children or whatever. So you can't run away from this. In fact, when you don't deal with a real astrologer, you're actually putting yourself in danger, or your children in a case like that. So everything's supposed to happen for a reason. But people want to take this life and make it all fun. It's not going to be all fun. This life was never designed to be all fun. There's a time and place for everything. Even Solomon said that he was the wisest person on the planet up until Messiah. And Messiah's life wasn't all fun. And Messiah said it was going to be, struggles and challenges. So you got to learn how to balance it out. So your little girl, I'm just going to call her your angel, your guide. She was kind of telling you nothing to fear. I'm here. And you thought that it wasn't safe because you're fearing something. And she's like, no, I'm with you. I only come here when I'm with you. So there's nothing to fear is what she's telling you. Let's see what else they say about the little girl. And it's still going to be new love. Like it's a new assignment, new love. But like I said, that's one thing I learned about the Archangels. I consider them my family. And when I first started getting into this, because I would meet a lot of people. And you meet people that want to talk crazy. And I you're not going to talk crazy about the Archangels. I'm sorry if you're in a pitiful place in your life. Maybe if you took this more seriously and worked with the Archangels, your life would get better like they did for mine. Because I know what my life was like before the Archangels. But I'm not going to sit here and let you talk trash about them because that's like my family. And I don't play that. And like I said, all that doubting and stuff, that's why even when you go to Christianity, Christians that really believe in miracles and stuff, they tell you don't doubt. Have faith. This is all spiritual principles. So a healthy and beautiful little girl means you're going to have a better future and a happy family life. Now, the main thing they're telling you is they're going to be there with you. Because that's what I mean. You don't want to think, oh, it's just going to be a better future and a happy life. Well, what if it's not? Does that mean the little girl doesn't know what she's talking about? No, the little girl told you, I'm going to be with you. Don't worry. So take it from somebody that's been doing this for decades. You will have challenges. That's why you can't always just pack up and leave. And like I said, if a man meets a female and she lets him know from the door, bam, 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 I really want this to work. I'll be there for you, whatever. You got to be there for me, but I'm not going to be putting up with a whole lot of crap. He already knows that. It's like a little boy. He already knows that he better not pull that line. Like all you got to do is watch Donald Trump's son. I think his name is Donald Trump Jr. with Whoopi Goldberg on The View. Because Donald Trump, he's a comedian just like his dad. And he was getting a little too out of line. He was getting on Whoopi's nerve. And Whoopi got mad. And the moment Whoopi got mad and stood up and pulled her sweater across. He looked at her and he got real serious real quick. Because if you know anything about the Trump children, even though they're adults now, they are well mannered. Their father brought, and everybody says that. Even his enemies, even Hillary Clinton had to say it. So the moment Donald Trump Jr. saw he was getting out of line and Whoopi was getting fired up, immediately he set up and kind of, like a little boy. But men are like that. That's why I say I know what I'm talking about. That's why I stay out here. That's why I'm always gonna have clients, because I'm not lying. It's just that I'm not gonna come out here with no fake bubblegum astrology, because people are dying. All you gotta do is go to Yahoo News right now. These people are dying because nobody really told them how life really is. That's the real reason why you're hearing all these people dying and being murdered and all kind of crazy stuff. Because nobody ever sat them down and said, listen, you're on a dirty, dark planet. Be careful. And even if you call yourself a Christian, that's even in your own Bible. The light came into the world, but the world was dark and didn't want the light. So that's fact. So you don't just do silly stuff. You don't put yourself or your family at risk. And when you wanna be like really goofy with your kids and stuff, make sure you're in a safe place that you can be goofy with, that you don't have to worry about no backlash. Otherwise, you got to protect those kids. Like when you got a dog, you say your dog protects you. If you're out there with that dog, he's looking at everything. Anybody walk by, he's looking right away. He'll start barking, and if you watch a dog, he'll come by you or come by because he's trying to protect you. And but he understands. Like a dog is wiser than a lot of humans because the dog realizes where he's at. Anything can pop off at any moment, and that's why God created those dogs that way. Even little dogs will try to protect the family and stuff. And the first thing they try to do, because they got that psychic, they smell. Because they got that psychic gift. Like they can kind of smell you and kind of gently come up with your personality. If you're a nice guy or not. And I've had people say, look, if my dog don't like you, we can't date. It all depends on my dog. Like, what the dog got to do with this? But they know that dog has been with that family, helped that family, and is very protective. And they know that dog has a good sense of character. But that's because they got gifts just like we do. So during a commercial break, when Donald Trump Jr. was on The View with Whoopi Goldberg, I never knew this, but during a commercial break, I guess because the people were booing, Whoopi Goldberg said that the booing is effing us up. She said that to the audience, but she said the word. But everybody forgets that Whoopi, she says she still calls herself a comedian. People forget that Whoopi's a comedian and shit. It's a lot going on with the Navy right now, and it's interesting. But if you understood the history of World War II, it was a lot going on with the Navy then, especially after the bombing of Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941, and then even in the Philippines, where a lot of Navy soldiers were abandoned and left, and the Japanese took them prisoner. And I've had the pleasure and the honor of working with the son of one of the most famous prisoners of that Philippine invasion. And he looks just like that guy. Now, why am I telling you all that? Because I already gave you all a prophecy that will be fulfilled before the end of December 2019 or the very beginning of November 1st. That's why when I did this moon, that was confirmation too. That moon stuff I just did is confirmation of what I was told. And just so you know, the person who requested this reading, If the little girl shows up with unpleasantness, then she's telling you to beware of villains in life. If the little girl appears pale, that means there's sickness around you, your family, and somebody around you. But she might be, if you work in an office, she might be warning you to be careful. You know, getting sick or whatever. Or even if you got people around you, work around them or whatever, you know, a little girl might show up in your dream and warn you about that as well. Now, if the little girl is adorable, the dream where there will be good news from afar. Now, don't get me wrong, because you got little girls, but then you got girls that even though they're still little or young, but they're still a little bit more mature, but they're still little girls, like they're getting closer, like the teenager or whatever. Okay, so in the Chinese culture, the dream is linked to a virtual person called Zhougong. So this book, what I'm reading from, is this book that has been passed down from thousands of years. So this dream dictionary is popular in China as well as in Chinese communities. It's excellent for explaining different dreams, especially dreams that sound unusual or weird. So I want to keep this, so just give me one moment. Now, just so you guys know, like I said, I got dramas. Drama people always causing drama, and like almost every time people are around, it's drama, 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 drama. It could literally drive you crazy. Now, I've always told people keep the doors locked. Don't have the doors open. Don't have the nothing. You know, use AC. Don't have the windows open. All for security reasons. Now, this is even before the neighborhood got bad. But now in the neighborhood, we've had murders. We've had murders in broad daylight in this neighborhood. So anyway, so this person never listens. Just drama, 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 drama. So one day I had left and went to this church out of town. Went to a Saturday church service. So when I walked back in, that drama person is just looking at me with a weird look. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And they looking at me, and then they point to the window or whatever. And I look at the window, the screen has been cut through. So that's how I knew somebody had attempted to break in. So now I'm just furious at this person because it just never stops. This is decades of just seeing drama, 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 drama from this person. Because they left a window open and they going to sleep in the back of the house. So that's just inviting somebody to come on. And this is broad daylight just happened. So I could go on with it, but it's just more depressing drama. But anyway, those boys, they were like teenage males, and they got caught later on because they did the same thing in anywhere you live, your area might be one township and maybe a couple of whatever right over. But that's considered a different township, different police force. But it's still kind of close to yours. So they kind of got close. They still got caught close but they were on bikes. And to be honest with you, it wasn't as close as it could have been, but it generally is the same area. But they got caught on bikes doing it again. They got caught that time. But I knew it was the same boys because it was the same MO. Like what they do, they knock on your door to see who's home. If you open the door, they go, oh, would you like us to cut your grass? But they ain't trying to cut your grass because they ain't got no lawnmower. That's how you know these dudes trying to rob you. How the heck you gonna cut my grass and you ain't got no lawnmower? So when you come to the door, they already know that they can't rob your house because you're home. So they'll go to the next house and knock on the door. And then if don't nobody comes to the door, even if somebody's in that house, they just don't open the door because a lot of people won't come to the door, but they're gonna come in. So that's why I said she heard them cutting the screen and all that. And it's funny because the same person, sometimes they have hearing problems and stuff, but they heard that. Thank God. But y'all, I try to tell y'all over and over again. Stop thinking everything's happy pappy, everything's free. It's not. People are dying every day. Stop taking shit for granted. People are getting murdered every day. Broad daylight. And it's just arrogance to think it can't happen to you. And I'm trying to keep people alive. That's why I say you just have silly people. Like if you ever used to watch Baywatch, remember they would tell people, hey, don't do that. Yeah, hey, don't tell me. You can tell I do whatever I want to. Then like 5 minutes later, help me, I'm drowning, help me, oh God, oh, help me. Like ain't that the same dude or female that was talking crazy? I'd be like, let them drown, let them learn from their mistake. No, but then you got to go out there and save them and stuff. Like I said, don't mess my day up because you're stupid. I'm going to tell you to your face, you're stupid. You can get mad. All right. So let's continue. This one says, well, it says crossing an unfinished bridge. I know you didn't cross it, but it'll still give us what we're looking for. Now I'm looking at all the, it has, oh, here we go. They are saying that. Now I'll tell you where I'm at. I'm at dream-of.com. It's dream a hyphen symbol of.com. But they're saying a bridge can definitely have a spiritual implication. And I already told you that's in the Bible. That's Jacob's ladder. Because that's what you saw with Star Study. And it's still a bridge. It's just a bridge going from God's realm to your realm, to Earth. See, it's showing you your calling. Like I've been saying that. And they keep saying, the day of judgment. Just like I've been telling y'all. They keep saying. That's why I said I can never, you know what I'm saying? I know I'm in harmony with God. I know I'm in harmony with spirit. I'm sorry a lot of people on this planet just want to do, everything got to be fake. You got to be goofy. You want to go to church, but you don't really believe that crap. I'm saying it to me, I believe it. I apply it. But to you, it's crap because you don't really believe it. Like you just put on the front and then do what you want to. All this fake stuff that's on this planet, all this bubblegum astrology, all this fake stuff. And then you keep hearing judgment. It's not even me talking now. This is this dream. Again, I'm at dream-of.com. Dream-of.com. Crossing a bridge. You can put crossing a bridge or crossing an unfinished bridge. That's where I'm at. The bridge of the day of judgment. And it actually says unfinished bridge. I can't make this stuff up. Like me, the one time One time I just know astrology, and one time I think the moon was in Sagittarius, and Talia, my best friend, is a Sagittarius, so I already knew to go to Facebook because that's where I talked to her at. I went to Facebook and she was right there. She was like, "What's up, Gary?" Yeah, she's just waiting for me. Now me and her hadn't talked in a long ass time. She's like, "I came here talking about unfinished bridge, and it says bridge, the day of judgment." Now how can I make that shit up? Because really, first you got to believe Judgment Day is real. Because a lot of people don't believe it's real. I can tell you it's very real. But when you believe it's real and you believe it's close, you'll be more inclined to take it seriously. Because obviously that's what the little girl is telling you your calling is. And telling you don't be afraid. And I mean, how could you be afraid when you got all these angels around you helping you? See, this is the real spirituality that you're hearing. It's way more powerful. Like anything would be powerful if people stop the phony stuff. But if you go into church and it's all phony and fake, people are hypocrites and stuff, you're not gonna have no spirit power because you have to believe it. It works together. You have to believe for it to work. It ain't gonna work. Say, "Oh, you're healed." I don't really believe in healing. I don't know. Of course, you ain't gonna get healed. But if that person says you're healed and they really believe it and you believe it, you can see some results. You might see full healing. Sometimes I've seen people get healed like a little bit here, a little bit there. Sometimes I've seen people heal like immediately. But the fact is, it does work. It is a fact. All right, now I'm going to read all this. Now, this is under the title Unfinished Business. And there was a lot of information on bridges. But for some reason, this one was under Unfinished. Wait, okay, it said Unfinished Business. I thought it said Unfinished Bridge. All right. But it still said Bridge, the Day of Judgment. So I'm gonna look it over real quick and see what it says. They said this is the bridge people have to walk on after the day of judgment, the day of resurrection. But at the top of it said the day of judgment. Now they're calling it the day of resurrection, which it is similar. It is a similar day to meet their Lord on the day of judgment. So this says the ease of crossing the bridge depends on the weight of deeds one is carrying. Some will cross this bridge like lightning, while others have to carry their burdens and move at varying pace. So it says walking on in a dream means your journey. If the bridge caves under one's feet in a dream, it means destruction and death. Seeing this bridge in a dream also represents knowledge, truth, believing in God's oneness, and following the teachings and examples of God's messenger, upon whom be peace. So that you could tell that's Allah, that's the person who believes in Allah, but it's the same principle for Messiah. So don't separate it. I keep telling you it's all one. It's humans that separate it, which leads to war and division and all that stuff. If a person's foot slips when they're crossing the bridge, it means they will slip from their calling. If one sees himself walking the path in a dream, it means that he's on the right track. Follow what is commanded and abstain from what is forbidden. And again, as you start to wake up, the evil side of life will send you temptation, maybe a boyfriend or more job, more money, or whatever. I had a female, and she was one of these people. The same thing. I see this all the time. She was acting like she was so into it and all that. But as soon as she said all that, she got a job. She was looking forward to a lot of money. And from then on, she just began to fall off more and more and more. So they're saying if you stay on a straight path, you will be blessed. But again, yours, like I said, you was on one path, and she is with you through that path, and it was safe. Because like I said, that's what it is. Somebody tries to take the safe route, so she's challenging you with the unfinished bridge, because that's your assignment. You saw the stars right there. Anything with a psychic, anything with a daily horoscope, tarot card reading, astrology reading, natal chart reading, that's all astrology. And remember, it's all going to connect you to the angels. And in the Bible, angels are stars. So she's showing you have an assignment, but she's telling you have to get to it, and I'm with you. So you don't have to ever worry about saying it's not safe. She's like, I'm with you. And what people have to remember is that you are safe, but never take it for granted. Like I just watched today, and I don't think I sent it to her. I may have sent that pit bull to you, your email as well. But what it was a pit bull that these people kept in a cage. It was a female pit bull. They kept her in a cage in the backyard. But they didn't play with the dog, and then they just kept her in a cave. And they were trying to make money off of her. So they were trying to breed her. So then the dog wouldn't breed. So then they said, oh, well, the dog won't breed. We're going to put it down. So they were going to kill it. Now, the way I feel, you shouldn't be able to just put no dog down. If there's no reason, no animal. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, but don't just be putting dogs down just because it don't breed. So that, to me, that's murder. That's the same thing as killing a human. What are you talking about? I can't wait till God deals with this planet. This stuff's crazy. So they were going to kill this female pit bull dog because they didn't love the dog, didn't play with the dog, didn't throw the ball at the dog. They put it in the cage, left it in the cage, and they were just trying to breed it. And then when it wouldn't breed, they said, we're going to kill it. So this female took the dog. And from the moment that female took the dog would be talking. It would be talking to you. Like it wouldn't shut up. So they called it a chatty pit bull. So it was so happy to be free from that cage and so happy to have life again. And the female really loved the dog, took it out, played with it, everything. And all the dog would do was talk. And everything she brought to the dog loved it. Like horses, the dog would make friends with the horses. Like it was a very loving dog. And then she said that even when she came home sad sometimes, the dog would realize she was sad, so the dog would come cheer her up, you know, get her to take her attention off her problems and put her on like having fun and stuff. And she said that dog, everything happened right when her father had died. So she was already sad because I think her mother had already died. Then her father died, and she had nobody in her life. She was single. And then somebody recommended to her, why don't you adopt this dog? So she said the whole thing was, I don't know if she used the word metaphysical. She might have said spiritual or whatever, but she knew that was from, she said she felt like her dead father and her dead mother helped bring that dog to her. And these things do happen. See, cats got to remember, I'm just one person, and I'm determined not to be swayed. And I know I've been doing this for a long time, and I know how people get distracted. Just like when you were reading this, they were talking about slipping and all that, slipping with the foot. So when people do what they're supposed to, I'm not a problem. I'm only a problem for people that don't want to do what they're supposed to. Because humans tend to always want to take the easy way and blame somebody else. But when you get up and start to do what you're supposed to, you'll become one with the universe. And it won't be that big of a deal. But when you first hear me, it's like, oh, this guy's trying, what is he saying? Why is he? I know exactly what I'm doing. Because some people are not going to do it no matter what. Even the people that say, oh, I need somebody to talk to me, like, but they're only doing it, they're doing it for the wrong reason. Like, you get up and go to work because you have to go to work. And if you don't get up and go to work, you could get fired. But somebody telling you, oh, I just need you to talk to me like a child, and I'm still not gonna do what I'm supposed to. I'm just gonna show up and say the right words. Well, then you're not really being productive. You're not really helping. So you got to realize there is a sense of duty behind this, and that's what that little girl in her dream is telling her. It's good the things you're doing. You're on a good path, but this is your real path. And you say, oh, it's not safe. How are my bills gonna get paid? It's not safe. I have a certain lifestyle I tend to. It's not safe. I got other people that are responsible. It's not safe. Listen, I was so beat down, I could care less. Because this person is a drama queen. I was so freaking beat down, I could care less. I said, God, you have to do this. I have no more energy. I can't do it. I had all kind of deadlines to meet, I didn't care. I was burnt out. And God met everything. Everything. My doctor's sick. I can't. He's not coming in the office. Because I've been, this is the same doctor 28 years. Stuff he usually gives me, I had to get another place. Thank God him and me set up a plan B in case something was wrong with him. So you got to believe that. You got to know the spirit. You got to know the spirit. Like when I first got my angel cards, I took each one out and talked to each card. And I looked at it, studied it, examined it, and talked to each angel. And they really are family. And you can feel the love even when you're doing readings and stuff. That's why I wish people would stop talking about my voice or stop talking about the content. Do you ever listen? When will you grow up? And then when I see them run, that only makes my point clear. Oh, you guys just think you're going to run. You can't run from a person like me because I'm speaking from source. And if you're running a bubblegum astrology, it's going to blow up in your face. Guaranteed. And if you're listening to these readings that I just gave you, they're saying the same things. The spirit realm is saying the same thing I am. But people want to hear what they want to hear. That's like if you're single and you really want to have sex, no matter how many times somebody tells you, oh, Jesus died for your sins, and Jesus died to make you a new creation, and now you have the all of heaven is your family and all that. But all you're thinking about is getting laid. You could care less about all that at the moment. That's how most of these people are. They want what they want when they want it, and they could care less about the other stuff. And they'll go to anybody who's telling them, oh, yeah, the divine masculine is calling. The divine feminine, oh, your Venus is in your 7th house, which means, oh, it's guaranteed to happen. Oh, your breakthrough is coming now. And they hear all that garbage, but that's what they want to believe at the time. And then when they finally fall on their face, a lot of these people are still too proud to admit that they were wrong. But everything I'm telling you, you're going to pay for. Everything is karmic, just like the Hindus tell you. See, Eastern astrology is a little bit more honest than Western. Western is corrupt with all this materialism and all this other stuff. Eastern philosophy still deals with the moon, who is the mother, the moon, your life purpose, and stuff like that. I use the West too as well, but I also refer to the East as well. All right, so let's go back. And again, they say stairs because you said steps, but they're saying stairs. And I made sure I typed in steps, but it's the same thing basically. Stairs is showing you spiritual elevation, activation of spirituality, but that's only if you decide to go take that walk that the little girl is telling you to take. And you will be tested. That's why she wants you to know she's with you. So I'll teach you the real deal. I've been doing this my whole life since I was a little kid. There'll be good times in it, but it's going to be challenges. You just got to learn how to be thankful each day. Like I said, that dog. So that dog was always happy. And every day that dog got up, it never forgot that I used to be in the cage. Nobody loved me. And they were going to kill me. And then this woman saved my life. So every day that dog went out of her way to tell her thank you. And that dog was always talking, always saying everything. And the dog would come up to her and try to tell her stuff like, guess what happened? Like, I was watching that video, I was so encouraged by that video and shit. Because if people woke up like that every day, they would see more spiritual power. Instead of saying, what can you do for me? Where's my love? What about me? Why is my twin talking to somebody else on Facebook? What about me? If they woke up like that dog, more grateful, saying thank you, they would see more happiness in their life and more fulfillment. Stairs can also mean change at a very personal level. But again, she has to decide. That's why that girl took her there. She has to make that decision. And it's spiritual. Like, helping out is good too, but it's spiritual. Because remember, you keep hearing about stairs and you keep hearing about feet. So let me give you the Bible scripture. Right before Jesus was about to be arrested and killed on the cross, crucified on the cross, a woman came in and began to anoint his feet, with all this expensive oil. So that's when Judas said, wait a minute, that expensive oil, and it filled the house up with the smell. And Judas said that expensive oil, we could have used that to feed the poor. Now, this is how you know John, who wrote the book of John, that was like Jesus' best male friend on earth. It was John and Lazarus. And they were in Lazarus' house when this happened. It was Lazarus, Martha, and Mary. And it was either Martha or Mary, I forget which one, who anointed his feet with oil. Now, nobody else mentions this in the four Gospels of Jesus Christ. But John, Jesus' best friend, says Lazarus didn't care about the poor. He was stealing the money. So he just wanted that money from that oil so he could steal it like he was doing, because he was stealing money out of the bag, the treasury. But Jesus said, don't be mad at her. Basically, what she did, she's preparing me for my death and burial. And he said, what she did is going to be a memorial for all times. Then he said, you'll always have the poor with you, but you won't always have me with you. So in other words, it's people get in Matthew chapter 10, he said, you got to love me more than anything or everybody. So when you know real spirituality and you carry it over, that's when your life is going to change. And the way you view life is going to be totally different. See, like I said, a lot of these women that are being murdered, they just have this unbelievable, naive belief in freedom. But there's really nothing free. Even if somebody's offering you something for free, somebody paid for that somewhere. And when you wake up with gratitude, not expectation, you'll see life differently. Like you can say, oh, you wake up, oh, it's a beautiful day. I'm going to put on a really sexy bikini. I'm going down to the beach. So you just taking for granted everything. It's all about you. Everybody's going to be looking at you in a little sexy bikini. But you don't realize what you're opening up. And you don't care. A little bit different than a person who wakes up, thanks God for the day, it's a beautiful day and stuff like that. A little bit more humble, a little bit more thankful. And they're also aware of life. Where am I going? Who am I going to be with? Is there any danger? Because a lot of that stuff could be avoided. It's just thinking a little bit more. And when you're really connected with spirit, that's all family. From the angels, the God, it's all family. Just like in the old days, you were raised up with your family. You knew your uncles, your mother, your father, your grandmother, you knew them. So any decision you made kind of had them in view. Now, all my people are gone one way or another. for the most part. So I don't really have that. But I know for me it was necessary because God had plans for me. And I know for a fact God moved anybody out of my family line that would have tried to make an impression on me. Because God really raised me up. I've been serving God since I was little. But I understand like the archangels and stuff like that. I understand their functions, what they do, who they're connected to. So I'm often talking to archangels. Like there's a man in the news right now. He lost his wedding ring on a snowy mountain in New Hampshire. So he reached out online for somebody to help him. Now you say, wait a minute, dude. You're telling me you lost your wedding band, your wedding ring on some mountain in New Hampshire that's filled with ice and snow? Dude, you must be crazy. Nobody's gonna go look for that. They might die. They might be fall off and kill themselves trying to help you. They don't know you. But sure enough, some people did it. They got a they got a metal detector and went up there and found that man's ring. So when I saw that, I said, wow, that makes me believe in not America, but that makes me believe in this planet again. To see the two people that didn't know him actually risk their lives to bring this guy back his wedding ring. And it made you believe in marriage again and all the stuff you used to believe in like 30, 40 years ago before everything went dark and ugly on this planet. So maybe I'm not the only good guy left. Who knows? Made me feel good. No, I'm just joking. It's a lot of good people. I'm just joking around. All right. So stars in your dream can also mean spirit, your highest self, it says, illumination, optimism, faith, new beginnings. Funny how they keep saying new because this is a new moon. But really they're angels. She's showing you your connection to the angelic realm. Like I said, that's just your real calling. And you have to, you have to decide and choose to accept it. And she's telling you don't be worried because I mean, in any case like that, you do got to use common sense though. You got to check things out. But I've seen people set up a channel on YouTube, say on a Monday, and by Wednesday, they have more money than they would have had if they worked for like two months or more. Like people that are really waking up to this, they realize you don't necessarily have to work for somebody else, because a lot of people now, if you're working for somebody else and you're making good money, that's good. But some people also say, well, I don't have to work all those hours. I can start my own practice or whatever they want to do. But the point being made is, if you know you have a spiritual calling, somehow you got to try to fit that in with your life. And like if you believe in God, start talking more to God, or start talking more to your higher self, start talking more to your angels for wisdom and help. But it can be done. All right. So let's look again for anything else. And it's funny because even in your dream you said judge. So I know what that's about. When she was walking over to that bridge and you said you can't go there or God will judge you. See, that's your belief system. Because she obviously knew where she was going. You understand? But something inside of you was like, that's like Christians that think astrology is wrong. Astrology is not wrong. You have to understand, when these people overthrew us, they changed everything. Everything we had, they took. And they made it bad. So now when we say it, we think we're afraid to use it. But if astrology is wrong, how are they going to tell you that they found Jesus Christ by his star? And by his star, they knew who he was and what he would do. How come they didn't say, "Hey, we think he's the Messiah, but we're not gonna go by the star because it's evil"? Because the people that overthrew us told us that the star is evil. No, the star is your power. You are the star. You are connected to the universe. You are angelic. So it's time to stop being afraid. This little system is not going to be here forever. They've had a long rulership on this planet, and they're about to be toppled. And they know it. That's why they give you all this fake news and all this stuff to keep you distracted. It's up to you to tap back in to who you really are. And I say, and God is giving you people to help. Stop giving people like me a hard way to go. I'm not going nowhere. I don't care how you feel. I've dealt with crazy my whole life. God, if you're a grown adult, you got to get a little bit more. I'm not saying you got to stop being fun. I like having fun too. I'm a Leo. All my activities in my 3rd house and 5th house. Those are the fun houses. But I know not to cross God. That's just stupid. That's crossing the hand that's feeding you. That's the last person you're going to see, whether you go up or you go down. And down ain't going to be too happy. It's going to be pretty hot. And I don't mean sexy. At least not for you, but for them demons that is going to be raping you. It's going to be sexy for them. So you got to put things in perspective. Don't be afraid to go to the bridge. Don't stay connected to belief systems that are detrimental. Whether the world likes it or not, God is about to go very metaphysical with this world. We're about to go back almost to the old days, the ancients, where spirits, God's spirits, ruled. Not humans. Not humans working for devils and demons. They're on their way out. That's why if you look at the news, all these people that have been getting away with all the most heinous crimes are all getting caught or allegedly committing suicide or whatever. Because that's God's way of telling them your way is out of business. So it's not being judged going over to the bridge. It's actually being rewarded by the Most High God because you finally accepted your assignment. And it's funny because I just did a study of Matthew chapter 16 where Jesus turned around and looked at Peter. Because I like how that girl turned around and looked at you. And that's how Jesus had to turn around and look at Peter. Because Peter said some old crazy stuff. Jesus, like I just did this. This is Matthew 16, what you're talking about. Because here it is, your spiritual journey. And it is going to, I keep telling y'all, it is going to have some struggle. Right now, everybody should read Matthew chapter 16, verse 28 to 26. Because Jesus just got finished telling his assignment and the struggle he's about to go on. And right away, Peter said, "Oh, you can't do that. Far be it from you, Lord. That's not going to happen to you." And then Jesus turned and looked at Peter and said, "Get behind me, Satan." Basically, if you love your flesh more than loving me, I'm getting ready to go to the cross for all you ungrateful humans. And now y'all act like y'all don't want to go to the cross for me with this fake religion and fake everything. You got another thing coming. And he told Peter, if you don't repent of the way you think, you won't have no part to do with this kingdom. And that goes for anybody listening. And I find it interesting that just a few nights ago, I did Matthew 16. It's exactly what she's writing. It's about accepting your journey, stop being afraid, and trusting that God will never leave you nor forsake you. And you got that cute little girl that wants to be there with you. And she's letting you know that if you don't accept that journey, she won't be with you. She then turned around and said, "I come here only when you hear." So they're telling you connect to your spirit family, which is the star people, or the spirits, or the angels. And the same bridge you're looking at is the same bridge that Jacob saw when he fought the angel in the book of Genesis. And it's the same bridge that Jesus Christ talked about. The same bridge at John chapter 1. I think it's like verse 51. He said, "From now on, you're going to see angels ascending and descending to the Son of Man." And that's Jacob's ladder or Jacob's bridge, Jacob's crossover. And when you said how many times have you been here with her, that's a good question too, because it's almost like you're actually saying to yourself, how many times can you get this invitation from God to accept your assignment, and you keep ducking it. Take baby steps, but take steps, take action. You guys don't know what a privilege it is to serve the Most High God. I wouldn't change nothing for anything in the world. The valley of the shadow of death, none of that. Just like I said, when Jesus got to the Garden of Gethsemane, he thought he could change one little thing. Dad, I don't want to be Abba Father. I don't want to be convicted of being a blasphemer. Because that's the worst thing, especially back then. That's the worst thing you would get convicted of if you're really a servant of God. He would never talk against his father. But God wasn't changing nothing. God said, this is the cup, and you're going to drink it. And Jesus was breaking down, sweating out blood and falling on the ground. That's the only time you see Jesus weak in the whole Bible, was the Garden of Gethsemane. And that's the name God gave me, G-A-T. Gat, G-A-T, is the same as Gethsemane. And it's also at Exodus 24:18. When Moses went to see God, he went through the process of Gat. So I know my calling, I know my connections, and she will too. If she wakes up, she'll know too. Because the more you wake up and accept, the more you're going to learn who you really are and why you're here. And you're going to see a whole lot of people waking up in the next 3 to 6 months. So Jesus went through the same thing he told Peter. There are going to be challenges. There are going to be uncertainties. You're going to have to walk through the valley of uncertainty, or the valley of the shadow of death, just like Jesus did at Gethsemane. But God will never leave you nor forsake you, no matter how it looks. And you have to believe that and move on. And you have to change your whole focus to that type of spirituality. Because it has to be spirituality that's going to help you. But that's what the little girl is. She's challenging you to stop saying it's not safe, or going by religious viewpoints that may not be true. I mean, your relatives or ancestors may have meant well, but it's still not true. And God's not judging you for obeying them. God's not going to judge you for taking your spiritual calling up. So that's something that's a false religious belief. Oh, astrology. Oh, it's star steps. Oh, it's evil. Oh, no, it's not. That's where you come from. The people that overthrew your ancestors, they got you hating yourself. That's why they changed your name, and they tried their best so you could not connect to who you really are. But even that ain't working no more, because more and more people are waking up, and more people are finding connections. A lot of that stuff is internal. They couldn't kill that. They could only slow it down. But now people are waking up and internal. Like me, I always was connected to East Africa long before I knew the history of East Africa. So they can't kill what's inside of you. They'll try, but they can't. All right, so what I'm going to do, that'll end this one about the dream. When we come back, we will be doing the new moon reading for her chart on the right. This is Gat. Remember, stay on my channel. A lot of sales going on, a lot of opportunities, a lot of offerings. Get busy. Try to bring even a holiday system with the Christmas, because that's supernatural too. Christmas is a very metaphysical holiday. Season. So try to bring that in correct, and definitely bring in 2020 with correct readings and things like that. Know what's going on in your life the correct way, not just based on bubblegum astrology.